guys, welcome to this week's video. Today we'll be looking at a bit of combat, maybe talk a little bit around AI and the system that I use, get a bit more into the development side of things, and then also touch on, hopefully finish on a little bit around the dialogue system that I've put in place. Okay, if you remember right, from last week we sort of finished the video on us getting stabbed in the dark. So as you can see, in front is the kind of storyline. As you'd expect, you can see just a bit around, sort of quite a bit of backstory, but around effectively you getting stabbed in the night, and then some thieves nearby. So if you press continue, and you can see in the distance there are some NPC characters that are moving their way over towards you. At the moment I'm having issues with the torch system, so it's lit up a bit like Christmas lights, so I'll be working on that in the future. So what's happening here, I guess, is that we've got three thugs. They're attacking the stones in front of you. As you can see at the top, your task is to protect the monument, and it's slowly ticking its health down. In the middle here, so I'm talking a little bit about combat, in the middle here you can see there is effectively a 3 and a 10. 10 is the armour of the stones protecting it, so effectively they're doing 13 damage, but 10 of their damage is being mitigated by the stones themselves, and 3 damage each time they hit. They're using these sort of flint axes at the moment, which are fairly low damage, and I've gripped this sword. So I won't talk too much about it now, because obviously I've got a limited amount of time before the game is over and they've destroyed the monument. So what I'm going to do is just kill them one by one, and maybe talk a bit more about combat when day breaks. Okay, and then the cutscene happens and you collapse. Okay, and it's day 2. So okay, so a little bit quickly everything that happened there. I tried to explain it a little bit as we go. You can see our monument's pretty hurt now. It's at 293 hit points out of 1,000. The 3 guys have died. We killed them. We 2-hitted them with a sword, which is a bit unfair, but you know that won't happen in the full game. You'll have a little axe and it'll be a lot harder. Each one has dropped some loot, and there's sort of bags here. I did a bit of work. I guess I sort of mentioned a few bugs in the last video. I did a bit of work to improve some of those bugs on the combat system. One of the things was around the loot bags are a bit smaller. By the way, what's happened in the sort of story? So I didn't mention it just now, but effectively what I've done is I've skipped the main quest. So if you see top right, we're still at the position where we've done our remote remembrance, but we got a new quest there that was okay. We've slept, and we have to kill those thugs, so we completed that one. But effectively, the main quest, we're back at the start really. I've done that just to show that it's not a completely linear game. There's obviously lots of different things, and it's based on a sandbox, so you can do your own thing if you want to. What still happened though, however, is we've killed the guys. We've done our quest to kill the guys and kill them off. We've collapsed, and I'll probably put a bit more story around it. But you've effectively collapsed, died, and resurrected as a result of being near these stones, and you've been tuned with those stones. So there's probably a bit of story there that I need to flesh out and put around. But basically, that's what's happened. This other character, Bridget, has appeared by the stones. We'll speak more to her, and she'll give you a bit of backstory in a minute. But I'll probably leave her for now, being sort of still early in the morning. Okay, we'll have a look at a bit more about combat and talk about our AI system, and I'll go over to these guys and hopefully get through a few sort of things. So as we saw before, I was pretty much two-shotting these guys with a sword. It'll be even worse with the axe. So what I'm going to do is unequip the axe. I'm going to go and craft a weapon that's probably a little bit more on a par with what they have. Well, in fact, it's exactly the same weapon. So if you remember right, in our crafting menu we had effectively a flint hatchet. So the moment it's doing 10 DPS, and it basically costs two branches and 4 pebbles, or 4 flint. So if I just grab those. I think at the moment there's probably another bug in that my cursor is quite hard to see against the background, so I'll probably make that a different colour. Also my screen. Okay, cool. Right, so I've picked up 4 stones and 2 branches, as you can see, and I'll craft my flint axe. So just crafting it there. They've been substituted. I've got this flint hatchet here. Right, so if I drag that on to here, you can see, as mentioned before, it's a main hand weapon, so there's still things in the offhand, so I could put my torch in there, but I'm going to leave it on my sword and not have my torch because we're fighting in daytime. Okay, so here we are. If I go to now to weapon slot 3, which is denoted by that S3 at the bottom, shift 3, effectively I've got my little axe out. Right, so if I attack one of these guys now, well, firstly I'll talk a little bit about the AI. So in terms of the AI, what's happened is, we talked about the spawning earlier, but basically what they're doing is idling around this spawn point. So how are they doing that? Well, basically what we've got at the moment is a system of AI called GOAP, which is goal oriented action planning. So that was a struggle. Basically what they do is with GOAP, you effectively try and describe situations or beliefs around basically a player or a character, and those beliefs affect what they do, basically. So you describe beliefs to give a state of time. So at the moment, these guys have all got a set of beliefs on them that basically talk about the state of time, the state of play at the moment. Now, if you do something, interact with them, or something happens around their environment, they can then change those beliefs and modify what they are thinking about or what they're prioritizing at any given time. So the good thing about the GOAP is it gives a quite a flexible, almost human-like way of describing AI in terms of what their objectives are, what they're planning to do, etc. I guess one of the downsides about GOAP is it's quite resource intensive. So it's basically it's a way of describing a number of criteria or goals that you can apply to a human or an NPC, and then from there they have to basically pathfind what is the highest priority thing to do at any given time. And that pathfinding, very similar to normal pathfinding of just going from A to B, it basically explores nodes, and that exploration of nodes and prioritization of those nodes is an expensive task. And as you find with normal pathfinding, doing lots and lots and lots of pathfinding across lots of nodes at any given time, or lots of options of where to go, can be expensive. And equally, if you set up a load of goals or criteria about what a NPC or whatever would want to be doing at any given point, again, the pathfinding of that through GOAP can be expensive. So that's something to sort of bear in mind if you're trying to implement this kind of stuff. But basically, in a kind of I guess kind of a simulatory kind of game like this, where we're going to be having lots of situations where there are villages, there are people going about their day-to-day tasks in villages and things like that. They'll all need priorities and human-like responses to priorities, and I feel like GOAP is a good fit for that at the moment. So that's effectively why we've chosen it. But basically, at the moment in here, it's quite a simple system in terms of what these guys are doing. So they're just idling around. There is, I guess, an action later on where it gets dark that they'll try and turn the campfire on, or one of them will try and turn the campfire on. I suppose also they're idling for something to happen, and the key thing that's going to happen later on is a little leader will spawn in our scenario script, and then that will kick off a lot of stuff. So it will basically, the leader will start giving them orders and telling them to do things, right? But at the moment, they're just idling around. And for now, for this video, that's all we're going to be looking at, I guess, of what their behavior is generally. So I guess in terms of combat, what you do is you can walk up to them. The bug that we had last week was that the threat system was expecting everything that you hit to have an attack target. Sorry, so effectively that in the threat system you're in combat mode already when you would. So what's happening here is if I hit them now, they're going to flip to that combat mode, and then the threat system is going to kick in. Now, the threat system is quite a noddy system that I put in place about a year ago to basically determine what's the biggest thing, most important thing to be doing in terms of attacking, right, at any given time. It's separate to the GOAT system. It's effectively just, okay, well, if this guy's got a bigger sword than that guy and he's hit me over the head with it, the same as that guy, who do I attack? Kind of situation. So that's in place, but effectively, if I just show you what happens, if I hit this guy, right, he's got his torch and his thing out still, and he's trying to attack me. So what he's doing is chasing me down. His swing range is actually larger than his distance he tries to get you. So as soon as he gets close, he'll start swinging. He's quite slow at actually attacking in terms of changing behaviour in terms of getting that swing happening. So he is doing a lot of damage to me. You can see I'm already half health. So what I might do is actually let him kill me and just show you the mechanic around death. But anyway, he's fairly low on health here. I'm going to probably, in fact, I might as well try and kill him myself. Oh, there he goes, he got me. So I've died here. The screen goes red to indicate kind of bloody. He's cheering. There is a bug here that he'll keep cheering, so we'll be able to go and kill him in a minute. And then, yeah, okay, so he says some stuff. We're dying here. There's a die timer, and what's happening is effectively your timer goes through, and then you can respawn at the Soul Road. And that's kind of the basic mechanic at the moment in terms of death, cycle, and combat. Equally, we've killed the guys over here before, so actually I might just leave him doing his cheering at the distance, and really focus on what's next, which we guess we'll talk about in terms of dialogue. And then I guess next video we can talk a bit more about GOAT and how it's working with formations, and that's when we're going to be spawning that leader, and he's going to be telling those guys to do something a bit more complex than just go and attack me if I hit him over the head with an axe. Right. Okay, so probably like much else to say on combat. I'll just go flip over to dialogue. So what's happened here is we've got Bridget spawned. Now, Bridget's our first basically friendly character that's an NPC sat around, and as per usual RPGs, the first character tends to be one that you can recruit. So I've just gone up to her and pressed E to talk with her. Her little symbol above her head was indicating the fact that she has, or she wanted to join your party. That plus one. So morning breaks. Basically, this is off the back of what's just happened. There's a little bit of backstory. Okay. So basically, the dialogue system's here. It's based on a system called Ink. I'll talk a bit more about that from a development point of view in my blog. Please have a look at it in the links below. But effectively, it's a lot of backstory around the best way to model dialogue in data and data structures, and then also what tools are out there. And Ink is one that's really top notch in terms of being able to have branching paths and things like that, and sort of meaningful dialogue systems, and where it can loop back and have quite a simple structure off the back of it. So I'll talk about that more in the blog, because already over time. But effectively what we're doing here is just clicking through dialogue as you'd expect through some stuff. There's options display, so you can, for example, in here, she's talked a little bit about herself and sort of asking about who's attacked you. I think for now we can reply guardedly. I think in this dialogue section, what we're going to do is just decline her invitation to join her party, which will come up in a minute. So she talks a bit more about the brigands and stuff like that, and her backstory really. So here's your position, right? So you can either get her to join with accept, or you can decline. So for now, I'm going to decline, just because I'm going to show you that she walks off, and then the next video will accept, and she'll come join the party, and then we can see what she brings to the table. But for now, what I'll do is just decline. Okay, she wanders off. and dialogue, and she wanders off into the distance somewhere by Bridget. It's getting dark again. I think it's a good place for me to stop. And as I said before, next video, in fact, we'll be talking about formations and the impact of the leader on the NPCs, and just see a bit about sort of formation movement. Maybe I'll talk a little bit about some of the options I've put in place. One of the things that I did since the last week was have an ability to be able to turn off and on, basically debugging information. So this won't be in the game, but as you can see there's stuff around where people get positioned and things like that. I'll show you that a bit more next week. Okay, thanks guys. If you like what you see, please have a look at the links below. As mentioned, there's my developer log, but there's also the sort of link to my Steam page. So please, if you like what you see, wishlist the game, because it really helps in terms of being able to, as I said, build up momentum and focus on trying to push things through and get things complete for you guys. Okay, that's it for this week. Thanks guys. Speak next time. Bye.